Hey y'all, so let's talk about these unidentified objects that are getting shot down recently over the United States and Canada. I guess the first one was some kind of supposed Chinese weather balloon looking thing, or some spy balloon. I mean, we got balloons floating around. It just shows you, like, we're in a circus, okay? Like, I'm tired of this clown show. But let's get into the fact that this is probably, I think that they had like another object, like a second object shot somewhere United States, and then a third object shot near Canada, and then I think maybe I heard about another fourth object or something. I don't know, but intuition tells me that this is the beginnings of something known as Project Bluebeam. And I think the overall idea of it is like a power grab based on hysteric hysteric state induced in people by using technology and probably paramilitary forces to simulate a UFO invasion. Um, you go back to like War of the Worlds broadcast on the radio and people flipping out, and I think they presume they can do even more with this. They can make images appear in the sky like straight up as if the sky was a teleprompter now somehow. So, all right, it just seems like this is like the beginnings of, you know, and if we can make all the people of the world come together to fight the UFO alien invasion, like then we will have like some great world order. Like, it's just very cheesy and circus like, and I'm so tired of it. um I should state for the record, I feel as if they're using the book of Revelation in the Bible as a playbook and as a guide for inducing hysterics in people. um I'm gonna go back to like World War II. The fact that they got people to commit war crimes against people and it's still not being talked about, and one group of people continues to bear the burden of blame when just the acts that people willingly committed upon other people during the World War II. And I'm gonna say they've been trying to get a civil war going, trying to get a race war going, trying to get World War III going. And so far as I can tell, unless they can actually achieve these hysterics in people again, and the lack of reason and logic and general humanity, unless they can take people like out of their minds and like that again, I don't think that they can, because people have started talking using, the internet, and just actually talking instead of being so scared of, being labeled a conspiracy theorist and having the CIA come after you or something. But just like, there's so many people talking now, it's like the message can't be stopped. But it just seems like they're at this point, they're all their ways to get people to get into a war is like not working. Like, people don't really want to. I mean, there's some people that maybe do, but like the vast majority of people don't want to like smash and smear other people across the street. I think that humanity in general is just like got so much more potential than these huge wars like every few generations. Not they're acting like it really generally, but I just want to say, hold on a second. So after they can't get a war going because they need people to participate the way they did during World War II, happily going over to other people's country and bombing the hell out of their civilian areas. They can't get people to do that now. People don't want to do that shit. I don't know what happened back then where people were so ramped up against others that they would behave that way. It must be some kind of hysterics. But so they can't get wars going from a few different angles. They We know what happened with the pandemic. We know that the people who indeed are coming down with the COVID are people who have been vaxxed. Those are the people that are coming down with it. So for someone to say that, for someone to say at this point that vax is preventing the spread, many of the people who received it even are even willing to put their pride aside and say that this is true. Not even to get into possible injuries from that. Now, I would just like to say, like, this was nothing like the bubonic plague or the black plague. I mean, people weren't bleeding out of their eyes, their ears, their nose, their mouth, and their ass at the same time. People didn't have like festering carbuncles all over their bodies. And it looks like in general, at least like part of the population generally held it together. I mean, whether they received or not, there wasn't a whole lot of oppression or violence or forcing people to take a medical procedure they choose not to, going on. There wasn't a lot of that, which again would have been another great uprising for a war reason. So now let's get back on the subject here, just to like reiterate the playbook that's being acted out, it seems. It's really our choice how we react to it. We can get hysterical and smash each other to pieces all over the place. I mean, or we kind of like get down to basics and start being producers instead of consumers in general. So back to Project Bluebeam and these 3 or 4 objects that have been, you know, shot down. So here's the thing. I mean, no one's gonna be like, generally speaking, greatly overly hysterical about a UFO invasion at this point because everybody generally accepts the fact that there's probably UFOs up there and that the government's been tiptoeing around disclosure for like decades now. Like, I mean, every politician in the world could get up on a big screen and a big stage and say, yes, it is official. This is the disclosure. UFOs are real. No one would even be surprised or probably even care at this point. Everyone's so over it. But I would like to say, is it like these like crazy looking, like big eyed China looking man? Fucking China. Or, I mean, I gotta say, these 4 UFOs that got shot down must have been some chintzy looking, like shabby type, not real UFOs. Because if anybody knows about real UFO activity, you can't just shoot them down. Like, they can like warp in and out of our dimension. Like, weapons just don't affect them. Conventional weapons just don't affect them. They can shut down our power and our weapons, just like that. I mean, these are very advanced things using the kind of technology which has probably been known about for a while, but kept from the general public. And like until we start to brighten up and wrap our own minds around how these things could be possible, keeping in mind you can't just give them out to anybody, that will continue to be kept from us. But anyways, the only real UFOs in my perspective come from the Third Reich. Yeah, those would be the only real UFOs as far as I'm concerned. But you can't just shoot those down. So whatever these 3 or 4 objects that have been shot down, I wouldn't say they're the traditional UFOs as we think of UFOs. I mean, I don't know about these like little weird looking men, but little green guys or gray guys or whatever. But it just seems like this is the beginning of another weird uh it really could it look up Project Bluebeam. It just seems like another like Hollywood style military complex power grab. Like just people stay frosty and cool. All right, take care.